in honor of
Welding Appreciation Month.
Edge Army.
We'll be sharing
Welding tip
For beginners.
During the month, April
The Edge Army
is here to help.
Encourage and
support you.
Becoming the
Best version
of yourself.
we believe
It is important to
Create connections
With great people.
the industry.
and help.
Provide solutions.
while building
Great relationships.
Feel free to
Reach out.
to any of
The Edge Army.
anytime.
Hey guys, Austin Hill here with Edge Army. I was asked to give a beginner the best tip I have. And one of the greatest tips I have is to get comfortable whenever you're welding. One of the biggest factors to messed up welds or just laying down a weld that you're not absolutely happy with is the fact that you're not comfortable whenever you're going, whenever you're actually laying the weld down. Figure out a way to rest your hands, rest your wrists. Figure out a way to slide your hands whenever you're doing a straight weld. Anything to just get your wrists set up and your arms set up so you can be as comfortable as possible so you can actually get the beads you want to get whenever you're welding.
Hey folks, Ram Nation 58, Bob Moffatt, Edge Welding Supply. Out here at Las Vegas International Speedway. Been watching these drags, top fuel, funny car, running 4 wide. Right now, getting ready to witness a jet car. I got a tip for you beginning welders. You gotta follow your gut, follow your passion. Learn to pay it forward. Everybody's got a voice in their gut. You listen to yours, okay? You can strive to learn about everything you possibly can and try to protect your craft. Work within yourself. Do good things. Again, pay it forward. Do good.
What's up guys, Brad White here at Arclight Fab on Instagram. On behalf of Edge Welding Cups, I wanted to pass on a little bit of knowledge to y'all or some tips for beginning welders. Fail a lot. There's more knowledge in knowing what not to do than knowing exactly what to do. So if you fail 100 times, you learn 100 times more than the one time that you succeed. It's just something that I've always lived by and something I go by. Well, that's not how that's gonna go. Let's redo it and try again. Pretty much that way, and then you'll figure out different ways and start to be able to see how to go about things and how to navigate stuff. Take care, keep going on, reach out if you have any questions. We're all here for you. Appreciate it. Have a good day.
Hey guys, I'm Brian Lagaglio with the Edge Army. I'm a instructor in Newport Richey, Florida. I'm a journeyman steam fitter, and I've worked in the aerospace for multiple years. The best advice I can give a new welder is to allow yourself to fail. Failing is part of the process. It's not unique to you. And I know it's hard, but you learn so much more from failure than you do with instant success. It's the process. It was done before you. It will be done after you. Failure is part of the learning process when it comes to welding in particular. You will fail more than you will succeed at the beginning. And that will change over time, I assure you, if you put enough time in it. Next thing, slow down. You don't have to get in a rush. Welding takes as long as welding takes. You can't necessarily speed up that process. You can make up time in all the steps in between beads or in between passes. But as far as welding goes, welding takes as long as it takes. These are just a few tips that I hope they help you. I hope you got something out of this, and I appreciate you watching. Have a good day.
Edge Army tip of the day to a beginner welder. Hang around the old guys, listen to their tips, and then pass them on when it's your time, when you're the older dog in the industry, to the younger guys. Pass those tips down.
How's it going, guys? Chris here from Art Metal Fab. One of the biggest tips that I have for beginner welders is to just clean your metal. When it comes from the factory, it's got pretty nasty cuts on it. It has paint. Get it down to the bare steel. Get that mill scale off of there and just weld right on the bare steel, and you'll get much nicer welds. Bevel it a little bit if you can. That way when you grind, if you want to grind flush, it'll be penetrated better and you will have some nice welds. Have a good one, guys.
everyone, and happy National Welding Month. Danea Buschkoetter here. I wanted to give my #1 tip for anyone that's interested in the welding industry, and that would be to practice and never stop learning. How you become a better welder is by practicing, putting hours behind that hood, looking through that little window, and not closing yourself off to learning something new. The welding industry is always changing, and so to stay on top of the ever-changing world of the welding industry, you've got to be open-minded and willing to learn. So there's my number 1 tip. It's kind of like 2 tips, but you get the drift. And happy National Welding Month.
Hello everybody, Dusty from Pacific Arc TIG Welding here. What's going on? Quick bit of advice for any beginners out there looking to get into some TIG welding, and this is the same advice I always give my online students or people I work with in person, and that advice is start simple. I talk about this all the time on my YouTube channel. One of the most common mistakes when people are first getting going is they start to try and learn stuff that's too difficult. People get caught on stuff that's too difficult. They develop bad habits, they get frustrated, and they don't want to continue learning. So keep it simple. Start with exercises on just flat plate, like this stuff I got right here. Just practice on getting stuff on flat plate. Perfect every time, and then by that time, you're ready to move on to more challenging stuff. So that's my bit of advice for anybody looking to get going.
Hey guys, EG Fabworks here, part of the Edge Army family. One of the most important things you should consider when you're starting your welding career is not only being comfortable while you're welding and setting up, but I think one of the real important aspects of it is you have to find the right kind of music to listen to, if you can, depending on your work situation. Me personally, I like to listen to stick figure, iration, three-legged fox, that type of genre. It kind of gets everything set up to where the tempo from the music falls in line with your timing for your dabs. That seems to work best for me. Obviously, you gotta be very comfortable at first, and I'm sure everybody's told you that already. But one thing that I know that a lot of people miss when they're trying to show people or teach them how to get started is you gotta find that tempo, and what works for me best is that type of music. I hope it helps, guys. Have a good one.
Hi guys, I'm Gerri with the Edge Army, and my number 1 tip for beginner welders is to not let the bad days stop you, because there's going to be quite a few of them, and it's going to feel really tough to keep going sometimes, but it's worth it, especially when you achieve your dreams. So keep going, stay strong, and stay positive.
Hey guys, my name's Harrison Stone, I'm part of the Edge Army, and my tip for you is make sure your gas is on before you strike that arc.
Yo, this is Hobbs here, and I'm here with Edge Army, and I was asked if I was to give any type of advice or tip to a new welder, what would it be? For me, I mean, there's lots of different ones. I still feel very new myself because there's always something to learn. But if I was to give any advice to a new welder, one that I got from a buddy of mine a long time ago, his name is Derek, and what he told me was to lock my wrist out, right? Locking your wrist out allows you to keep your lines straight and not jitter-jatter or whatever, zigzag all over the place if you're trying to make a straight line. That seemed to work for me when I'm really trying to be on something that's perfectly straight. Hopefully it helps you. If not, try. Take care.
When you're welding a lap joint, don't center yourself to the workpiece. This will restrict your range of motion, forcing you to turn your body. Position yourself so your right shoulder lines up with the end of your joint. This will allow you to bring your arm into your ribs and give you full range of motion. The next tip, we'll be talking about your tungsten to filler angle. We want to keep a 90-degree angle between our filler rod and our tungsten. This will prevent your filler rod from balling up on you.
G'day guys, James from the Edge Army here. Some advice for beginners. As you're taking on the journey of trying to figure out how to weld steel, aluminum, whether it's TIG, MIG, stainless, You're going to see all these beautiful welds on social, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, wherever. You're going to see them. Set that as your goal as to what you want to achieve, and get frustrated when you lift your hood up and your weld doesn't look anything like it. You know, set that, make that frustration, turn it into a passion to keep practicing, get that hood time in. Remember, every one of those beautiful welds you saw posted, there were probably 7, 8 welds before that one that didn't make the cut. Use that as fuel to fire up your passion and get you to where you want to be.
Hi, this is James West from James West Welding. The beginning is difficult because it's new. Don't give up and make sure to ask lots of questions.
Hey everyone, Jesse McCollum here with a little quick tip for newbie or beginner welders. And that would be learn your machine. I talk to a lot of people that are having an issue with a machine or they don't understand something, and it's causing them problems simply because they don't know the functions, they don't understand the functions of their equipment. There's a reason for owner's manuals, and a lot of the manuals have some really good explanations on what these features do. So read your owner's manual, try to understand those features first, and then experiment with them. You know, when you've got some time, get some scrap, try some different functions and features at different ranges and see what they do. And sometimes finding out what doesn't work will tell you a lot more than finding out what does. And so that would be my tip. Just learn your machines, experiment with the settings, and find something that works for you. And not always, you know, relying on settings from other people. Welding's a lot like baking. So, you know, I have a chocolate chip cookie recipe, you have yours. Mine has more salt, yours has more vanilla, that one has more brown sugar. But at the end of the day, it's still a good cookie. And that's kind of the way to think about welding settings, where everybody's got a little bit different recipe, and the one that works for somebody else or the one that they like might not work for you. So learn your machines, understand them. It'll help you more than anything else.
My name is Johnny Dabbs, and my number one piece of advice for beginners is practice makes perfect.
For all you beginners out there, I just want to say there's always time to use the correct PPE, jackets, gloves, hood. Don't ever get in so big of a rush that you forget to put it on, and then you end up either hurting your eyes, burning yourself, or hurting yourself. Not worth it. Especially if you're trying to weld today, then you got to weld tomorrow, the next day. So, good tip for the day.
Hey guys, my name is Lars from the Edge Army. My tip for all welding beginners is only practice makes perfect. When you weld frames, always weld the seams from inside out. I hope this tip helps you. Greetings from Germany. Ciao.
Hey guys, it's Elizaveta Watson with Edge Army, and my advice for beginners, just don't compare yourself with the professionals. I know so many people on the internet are making great products and amazing content based on their welding skills, but we all started from the same spot where you are now. So don't be afraid to make mistakes. It's all fine. Just learn, keep growing, keep going, and you will achieve whatever you have right here.
Hi, it's Big Bug Marty, and I'm here today with Edge Army to give some tips to a beginner welder. Today we're going to talk about tungsten stick out. Basically, when I'm asked at work from the new guys, how much stick out should I use on my torch for my tungsten. I always told them that a good average is use the ID diameter of your cup. Let's say I have a number 8. It's half of an inch ID, approximately. So I told them to use a quarter of an inch to half of an inch stick out. So if I got a number 15 or 16, it's going to be a 1 inch or a number 15.93. I'm going to use half of 0.93 to 0.93 stick out. Keep in mind that it's not, you can go lower easily. You can go higher, stick out, longer stick out, if you do know how to crank up calibrate your flow. But the sweet spot with the recommended flow from the manufacturer, I always find that it's between half to the size, ID size of your cup. So keep that in mind, guys. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Michael with Juggernaut Weld Fab. My tip for anybody beginning in the trade would be to not get discouraged when you make a mistake. Okay, don't get down on yourself. Just use that mistake as wisdom as to how not to do it next time, right? Everybody makes mistakes. Don't quit. Keep pushing forward, and the knowledge will come.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Ryan from 810 Metalworks, and I'm here to give you a tip if you are a beginner at welding. And that tip, actually, I've got a couple tips rolled up into one. First being patience. Have patience. You are not going to be an Instagram welder overnight. It's going to take time. The saying is, hood time is a good time. It takes people years to perfect, whatever form of welding that they are in. And also the second part of that tip would be to be teachable. Always be teachable, no matter how much you think you know, no matter how long you've been in it, just always be teachable. You can always learn new things. And nobody likes to know it all. So there you go.
What is going on, you guys? This is Tim from 2 a.m. Later. One of the biggest beginner tips I give a lot of people, especially people that start new at my shop, is be careful of how much tungsten is in your back cap. A lot of the times your gas is going to be kept inside that back cap, and when you swap out tungsten or when you pull it out just a little bit for that stick out to reach that gap, your gas is being affected. So be...
What's up, everyone? It's Tyler Caton here, aka I Go Welding here, and just like a tip for anyone that's trying to get in the field or industry. If you're a beginner and you're really not sure what you want to do or what interests you specifically about welding, I would suggest trying out as many things as possible, many processes, different types of joints, different types of materials. Research, reach out to local companies if you want to stay within the area, see what kind of work is available to you when you get out of school, or what kind of apprenticeships are going to be offered that you could go and do for a company. Or if you want to travel somewhere, go somewhere, there's tons of traveling jobs. So, start looking at that and researching really what interests you, and get some contacts out there, even across just the, Instagram community alone. Reach out and talk to people. There's lots of people that are willing to help and talk to you, and, really try to think about your future and what drives you.
Hey guys, this is Wyatt Hansen with the Edge Army. Tips that I have for beginners is spending as much weld time as possible under the hood. So making sure you're spending a ton of time just welding in general. For instance, if you're a high school kid and you take welding classes or whatnot, using all that time that you have that the schools give you, using that time efficiently and welding as much as you can. And then outside of high school, investing into welders, welding equipment, tools, whatever you need to do to practice, to get better. Whatever you can do to keep underneath that hood and then watching an arc, that's the best tip I got for you.
Hey, it's Weld Zombie. If I could give any tip to a newcomer, I would have to say, don't be intimidated when you're going into a shop. A lot of people get intimidated and just lose it.